Good morning all. We are back with our classes on chemistry, which is acid, bases and salts. Yesterday we studied about pH. pH stands for the potence of hydrogen ion concentration or the power of hydrogen ion concentration. We said the pH scale was given by Sorensen to measure the acidity or alkalinity of a substance. pH basically tells that if the hydrogen ion concentration is less, pH is more. That is, if hydrogen ion concentration, which we generally write like this, is 10 to the power minus x, pH is always equal to x. pH basically ranges from 0, 7 and 14. 14 is highly basic, 7 is neutral and 0 is highly acidic. From 0 to 7, you will have shades of red, which shows they are what in nature? Acidic in nature. 7 is neutral and is what in color? Green in color. And then from 7 to 14, which is basic or alkaline, you basically try to show what color? Shades of blue and purple. What is a pH paper? A pH paper is a paper which is dipped in universal indicator. What is universal indicator? It is a mixture of many indicators. So we said if an acid is strong, it will give all H plus ions or it will completely dissociate. If it is a base, then it will give all OH minus ions. If it completely dissociates, it is what acid? Strong acid. If it weakly dissociates, then it is called as what acid? Weak acid or weak base. Now we will write a list of strong acids and strong bases, weak acid and weak base. A photo will be sent in the WhatsApp group. Kindly add it up to your notes. So your strong acids are, I am writing SA, your strong acids. You know what is HCl? Hydrochloric acid. H2SO4, sulfuric acid. HNO3 is nitric acid. So our strong acids basically are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and then we will also study one more acid which is called H3PO4. So this is what? This is, I am writing here, hydrochloric acid. This is sulfuric acid. Please write acid along, I am not writing. This is nitric acid. And this is phosphoric acid. Nitric acid, sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. So you generally find these are all important acids which are very, very strong, such as hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid and phosphoric acid. Now let us talk about weak acids. I am writing here weak acids again. So what are weak acids? Which do not completely dissociate. Okay, which do not completely dissociate. Which do not completely dissociate are called as what acids? Weak acids. So, weak acid, first H2CO3. This is called as what acid? Carbonic acid. H2CO3 is called as what acid? Carbonic acid. Then you have H2C2O4. This is called as oxalic acid. Then CH3, or rather first write HCOOH. This is called as methanoic acid. This is also called as formic acid. Why is this called as formic acid? Because in Latin, formum means ant. So this is the acid which is obtained from ants. So called as what acid? Formic acid. Another weak acid which we will study is CH3COOH, which is called as ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid or acetic acid. Ethanoic acid or acetic acid. So these are the examples of what acids? Weak acids. So we studied HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, H3PO4 as strong acids. Weak acids, carbonic acid, oxalic acid, methanoic acid or called as formic acid, and acetic acid or ethanoic acid. These are all examples of what acid? Weak acid. Now let us talk about strong bases. Now let us talk about strong bases. What are strong bases? Bases which completely dissociate. Bases which completely dissociate to give OH minus ions. What are bases? Strong bases are those which completely dissociate to give OH minus ions. So our strong bases are NaOH. What is NaOH called as? Sodium hydroxide. What is KOH? Potassium hydroxide. What is MgOH twice? Magnesium hydroxide. So these are all examples of what bases? Strong bases. Now we will talk about weak base. We will talk about weak bases which completely dissociates an ion, which do not completely dissociate. Which do not completely dissociate to give OH minus ions is called as or are called as weak bases. The most common weak base which we study is ammonium hydroxide. The commonest weak base example always it is ammonium based weak bases. So it is what? Ammonium hydroxide. Okay, the next one you can understand here. Zinc hydroxide is a weak base. Copper hydroxide is a weak base. Okay, so these are few examples of strong acids and strong bases, weak acids and weak bases. So strong acids include HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, H3PO4. Strong bases includes NaOH, KOH and MgOH twice. When I talk about weak acids, I talk about oxalic acid, I talk about formic acid, I talk about acetic acid, and I also talk about carbonic acid, which is H2CO3. When I talk about weak bases, ammonium bound bases are weak. So the most common ammonium base is NH4OH, zinc hydroxide, copper hydroxide. These are all common examples of weak bases. Now, for studying importance of pH in everyday life, it is essential to follow the textbook because a lot of reasoning questions will be asked on importance of pH in everyday life. So I am reading that part. Are plants and animals pH sensitive? Yes, we all are pH sensitive because we say in the mouth during digestion the medium has to be alkaline. Alkaline means the pH has to be more than 7. If I say in stomach the pH pH has to be acidic. That means the pH has to be less than 7. Again, in intestine, we say the pH has to be alkaline because bile juice brings bile salts and bile pigments, which makes the medium alkaline so that pancreatic juices can act upon. So, there also we are what sensitive? pH sensitive, because in mouth more than 7, in acid or in stomach it is less than 7, in intestine again more than 7. So, we all work, all the animals or most of the animal work at neutral pH. So, let us understand now. Our body works within a pH range of 7.0 to 7.8. Please write a question there. Mention the pH range of human body. 1 mark question. Please write. Mention the pH range of human body. The human body works best when it is when its pH is between 7 to 7.8. Living organisms can survive only in a narrow range of pH. When pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. When acid rain flows into water, it lowers the pH of river water, and the survival of aquatic life, that is all kinds of fishes, in such rivers become difficult. Next question. Define acid rain. Define acid rain. Please underline. When the pH of rainwater becomes less than 5.6, when the pH of rainwater becomes less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. And when this acid rain flows into the river water also becomes what? Acidic in nature, and hence the survival of the aquatic life in acidic water becomes difficult. Now let us come to this golden box. Okay, here please write over the golden box why there is no life on planet Venus. Why is there no life on planet Venus? There is no life on planet Venus because the atmosphere of Venus is completely made up of thick white and yellowish cloud of sulfuric acid. So human race cannot exist there, or even many organisms cannot exist there, because we all work in and around neutral to slightly alkaline pH. But the entire planet Venus is made up of thick yellow and white clouds of sulfuric acid. The pH of planet Venus is highly acidic, and that is why we do not find any life on planet Venus. What is the pH of the soil in your backyard? If you ever have an estate, or you have a small piece of land or some tota kind of thing, you know, when you buy that, or even after multiple years of having it, your father will always try to do soil analysis of that particular area, which tells him what crops can be grown best. During soil analysis, you have to collect the soil from about 5 or 6 places from that particular field, because the soil can change from one area to the other. So it is always essential to check the pH of the soil, because if the soil is neutral or alkaline, the yield is very good. But if the soil is acidic, then the plants cannot grow comfortably in acidic soil. So now let us understand. Plants require a specific pH range for their healthy growth. To find out the pH required for the healthy growth of plant, you can collect the soil from various places. So if I have a rectangular farm, let us suppose I have a farm like this, and I have to check the pH of the soil. So we have to collect from here, from here, from here, from here, and something from the center, so that we know, is the soil pH changing from one end of to the other end, because some areas may be up, some areas may be down, and the soil pH may change from various places, and check the pH in the manner described below in activity 2.12. You can note down which plants are growing in the region from which you have collected this soil. So how do we test the pH of the soil? Put about 2 grams of soil in a test tube and 5 ml of water to it. Shake the content of the test tube. Filter the content and collect the filtrate in a test tube. Check the pH of this filtrate with the help of universal indicator paper. If it comes green, it is neutral. If it gets shades of red, it is acidic. If it shows the shades of blue in the pH paper, then it is alkaline in nature. So please write over activity 2.12, how do we check the pH of the soil? How do we check the pH of the soil? It is very simple. You take a little 2 grams of soil in a test tube, add about 5 ml of water to it, nicely shake it and then filter it. The filtrate, in that filtrate, take a piece of universal indicator or pH paper and put it. If that paper turns red, it is acidic. If it turns green, it is neutral. If it turns blue, it is alkaline in nature. Now from this part, how the question is asked. If our soil is very, very alkaline, then the farmer needs to add fertilizer to it, because fertilizers will make medium acidic, then the soil pH will become neutral. If our soil is highly acidic, then the farmer sprinkles limestone over the field, because this limestone under CaCO3, when it mixes with water, it forms calcium hydroxide, which changes the medium of the soil into alkaline. So how is the question asked? Why does a farmer apply a lot of fertilizer to his field? He applies a lot of fertilizer to his field because the soil of that farmer is what in nature? Highly alkaline in nature. To make it neutral, he puts fertilizers. Okay, not manure. We are talking about what? Fertilizer. Difference between manure and fertilizers. Last class al bodidira 9th. Okay. Now for the next thing. We also spoke about what? Why does the farmer spray or throw limestone in his field? He applies limestone in his field. This is because the soil is highly acidic in nature. And to neutralize the soil, he adds limestone, because limestone when mixed with water forms calcium hydroxide, which will then neutralize the soil. Clear? So please write there 2 questions. Why does the farmer apply fertilizers to his field? Why does the farmer apply fertilizer to his field? Please write, when the soil becomes, the answer to it, when the soil becomes highly alkaline, when the soil becomes highly alkaline, the farmers use fertilizers to neutralize the soil. The farmers use fertilizers to neutralize the soil. Okay, now next question, please write, when do the farmer sprinkle his farm with limestone? When do the farmer sprinkle his farm with limestone? Please write your answer. When the soil is completely acidic, when the soil is completely acidic, the farmer sprays or sprinkles his farm with limestone. The farmer sprinkles his farm with limestone to neutralize the soil, as limestone creates an alkaline medium. As limestone creates an alkaline medium. Okay, so this part clear. So first thing we studied that our body always works in a normal pH range of 7 to 7.8. If the rainwater has a pH less than 5.6, it is called as what rain? Acid rain. This acid rain, when it goes and mixes with all the water present in the rivers and other places, it creates an acidic medium where survival of aquatic life becomes difficult. We studied there can be no life on planet Venus because Venus is covered with thick yellow white clouds of sulfuric acid. We studied that the pH of the soil can be tested by taking 2 grams of soil, mixing it with 5 ml of water, shaking the content beautifully in the test tube and then taking the filtrate or filtering it so that you can take the filtrate. Check the filtrate with universal indicator or with pH paper. If you get green, it is neutral. If you get blue, it is alkaline. If you get a red color on the pH paper, the soil is acidic in nature. I add fertilizers to the soil if the soil is highly alkaline. I add limestone to the soil if the soil is highly acidic. Now to the next part, pH in our digestive system. It is very interesting to note that our stomach produces HCl or hydrochloric acid. It helps in the digestion of food without harming the stomach. Why it does not harm stomach? Because it has what layer? Mucus layer. During indigestion, the stomach produces too much acid and this causes pain and irritation. What is indigestion? If I decide to eat 3 pizzas together from Domino's without giving it to my younger brother. So basically what I'll do, I'll be very greedy, I'll eat more. Or if I have gone to the hotel and I have had a very nice spicy food and I just come and sleep off without doing any little work, I just come and sleep off, and in the night I find that whatever I have eaten, the naan or the roti and lot of paneer and lot of all things are bringing me problem. So you get what kind of teg, and you immediately know that you have overeaten or there is indigestion. There will be pain, there will be irritation in your alimentary canal, this area where there is a problem with from where the food has passed. So what your mother generally does, first step, she'll ask you to drink hot water, because if it is highly acidic, hot water. Or she will ask you to take something nowadays, what we say, ENO. Have you heard ENO? Okay. So what exactly it is? It creates what medium? Alkaline medium. Because it has what? Sodium hydrogen carbonate. So it immediately puts the acidity or the indigestion or the irritation down. Or there are certain pink colored tablets called Gelusil or I don't know, Mucane gel. There are a lot of pink colored things which are basically used as what? Antacids. And they will give you a spoon of antacid with lukewarm water, and then it is put, your acidity is put to rest. So let us understand. To get rid of this pain, people use bases called antacids. One such remedy have been suggested by you at the beginning of this chapter. These antacids neutralize the excess acid. Magnesium hydroxide, milk of magnesia, a mild base, is often used for this purpose. So please write, what are antacids? What are antacids? Okay, so from during indigestion, you have to underline. During indigestion, the stomach produces too much acid and this causes pain and irritation. To get rid of this, people generally use bases called antacids. The most common base, magnesium hydroxide, which is also called as what? Milk of magnesia. This creates what medium? alkaline medium and the excess acid which is secreted is stopped. pH change as the cause of tooth decay. I think till now either your mothers would have lost hope in telling you to brush your teeth in the night, or even now you may have fights for everyday brushing your teeth at night. In my house, every day it happens. Okay, very simple, because I tell them to brush their teeth and they will say, hey, nothing happens, you think everybody brushes, my teeth is very strong and all that stuff. So always remember, the moment you eat your food, it has been taught to you by our normal culture that when you eat your food, wash your hands and also gargle your mouth. And whatever extra food particle is there, if you gargle your mouth, it will go off and there will be nothing sticking on your teeth. But let us suppose, as usual, we do not follow these norms and eat a very good pizza along with some Miranda or Coke and then go off to sleep. What happens is, you will have little particle of corn, capsicum and everything between your teeth. And then when you sleep and do not brush your teeth, these food particles which have lot of sugar, because you know carbohydrates are digested in the mouth. So lot of sugar kind of particles or sugar gets deposited on the teeth. The teeth gets attacked by the bacteria, because bacteria loves sugary foods, and slowly the hardest substance of the teeth, which is called as dentine, made up of calcium phosphate, gets corroded. And when it gets corroded, there is one tutu formed or a hole formed. And then you know, your doctor will say there is a cavity, you require filling. Even after that, if you don't do it, the entire root or the entire teeth get affected or the tooth gets affected, and then you go in for what treatment? Something called as root canal treatment, where they put something and make the infected root better. So it is always essential. What does toothpaste do? Toothpaste creates what medium? Alkaline medium. And whatever acid can build up or whatever sugary foods are present, it removes from all the corners of your mouth and keeps your teeth healthy. Clear? So let us talk about tooth decay. Tooth decay happens when the pH of the mouth is less than 5.5. Tooth enamel made up of calcium phosphate is the hardest substance in the body. It does not dissolve in water but gets corroded in a pH below 5.5. Bacteria present in the mouth produces acids by degradation of sugar and food particles remaining in the mouth after eating. The best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. Using toothpaste, which are generally basic for cleaning the teeth, can neutralize the excess acid and prevent tooth decay. Clear? So the first question, how is tooth decay caused and how it can be prevented? How is this? We studied even in nutrition, no? How is tooth decay caused and how it can be prevented? So tooth decay is caused when the pH of the mouth lowers 5.5. It basically happens because the bacteria present in the mouth slowly degrade the sugar present and the leftover food particle present, resulting in the production of an acid. The hardest substance of the body, which is calcium phosphate, does not corrode in water but gets corroded in acid. So you should generally wash your mouth with water multiple times after eating food or use toothpaste to clean your mouth. The second question there, please write, name the hardest substance in the body. Name the hardest substance in our body. The hardest substance in our body is calcium phosphate, which the teeth is made up of. Please write there the formula Ca3PO4 twice. Calcium phosphate. From there I got Ca has charge of +2, PO4 has a charge of -3. If I cross multiply, I get what? Ca3PO4 twice. So calcium phosphate basically helps in making the outermost covering of the tooth, which is called as dentine. So the tooth is basically made up of what? Calcium phosphate. Self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. See, in nature, here we run for everything to the doctor. If I get stung by a bee and my entire face swells up like one sumo wrestler, so what I will do immediately, because it will burn very badly, I will immediately rush to the doctor and I will tell Ididagogide and he will give me some antidote to whatever I have got. So, but in rural areas, or there are people, tribals living in the forest, they really can't rush to the doctor because there are nobody around. So when a bee sting happens, he knows what to put across or put on it. So generally in nature, you will find that there are plants which act as friends to each other. Okay, so when a bee sting happens, bee sting burns. I don't know how many of you have been bitten by a bee or a wasp. When you are bitten by a bee or even by an ant, that big ant, red-orange color big ant, which is called Godda or something in Kannada, it secretes what? Methanoic acid. I told you, methanoic acid is called as formic acid because it is secreted from what? Red ants. All of you, small red ant or big red ant, you would have been bitten once or twice. Okay, or I don't know, nowadays people don't play in sand because you don't get original sand and you get M sand or something. But if you were small and you made all those, what do you make? Temple and building on sand and all that stuff, you would have 100% bitten by ants. So, and then you will scratch that area and you get all red marks on that. That basically happens because an ant sting contains formic acid or methanoic acid. What does your mom do when you take it back home? First thing, she cleans that area and applies, in most of the houses, coconut oil is applied on it. Or, tumba coconut oil illa andre Vaseline hachipittu bidutare. Why? So that the skin gets lubricated and you will not scratch and take out blood. Because the way we scratch is like alinda blood barlebeku, and then you will see, oh, blood bandutu, I can't do anything and all that stuff. So methanoic acid, if you have been badly bitten by an ant, not one or two places, but you have been badly bitten by an ant, the first thing is to take manel soda, baking soda. That baking soda, just apply it or sprinkle it and just rub it with cold water. Immediately baking soda creates what medium? Alkaline medium, and hence you will find that the burning sensation will go. Okay, next, if I am bitten by bees, bee sting also contains what? Methanoic acid. So when I am bitten by a bee, I should immediately apply a solution of baking soda on the place where it has stung. Okay, and then leave it multiple times. If I apply, the swelling will also go, because when the bee stings, it leaves its hair in it. Okay, so basically you remove that thing and then apply a layer of baking soda over it. In nature, you will find that there is a plant which is called as the nettle plant. This nettle plant has got thorns. Okay, and when you get touched by the nettle plant, you will again get a swelling because it secretes what? Methanoic acid. A nettle plant pakkane innondu chotu plant bediyutte. That is called as the dock plant. So if you have been touched by the nettle plant, you have to take the leaves of the dock plant and rub over it. The dock plant creates what medium? Alkaline medium, and the burning sensation or the uri of the nettle plant goes. Clear? So this is something which is called as what? Warfare by plants by growing beside each other. Have you ever been stung by a honey bee? Bee stings leaves an acid which causes pain and irritation. Using a mild base like baking soda on the stung area gives relief. Clear? Please write. What happens when you are stung by a bee? What happens when you are stung by a bee? Please write. Bee sting leaves an acid which causes pain and irritation. So we should use what? Mild base baking soda. Nature provides neutralization option. Nettle is a herbaceous plant which grows in wild. Its leaves have stinging hair which causes painful stings when touched accidentally. This is due to methanoic acid secreted by them. A traditional remedy is by rubbing the area with the leaf of a dog plant which often grows beside the nettle in the wild. Can you guess the nature of dog plant? Dog plant is what in nature? Alkaline in nature. So next time you know what to look out for if you accidentally touch a nettle plant while trekking. Are you aware of any other effective traditional remedies for such stings? People also put salt. Okay, because salt creates what medium? Alkaline medium. So salt to haktar, uppು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಟ್ಟಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತಿಗೆ, and then it becomes okay. This table, which is 2.3, is very important. It tells you the substance and the acid present in it. Vinegar has acetic acid, orange has citric acid, tamarind has tartaric acid, tomato has oxalic acid, sour milk or curd has got lactic acid, lemon has citric acid, ant sting has methanoic acid, and nettle sting has methanoic acid. So once again, vinegar, acetic acid, orange, citric acid, tamarind, tartaric acid, tomato, oxalic acid, curd, lactic acid, lemon, citric acid, ant sting, and your nettle sting basically contains what? Methanoic acid. So this is all about pH, strong acids, strong bases. Tomorrow we will discuss the questions. Thank you.